Eddie.
What?
Perfect.
What you know you can't explain.
Now we're going to reprimand you for doing a great job.
Steady. But you feel it.
Damn it.
You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show. All right. Wow. Welcome to the MG Show, everybody. It is Monday. It's Monday again. Shady Groove, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for welcoming me to the show, and thank all of you very much for being here because, man, I'm telling you, what a show it's been. All the naysayers a year ago or so were telling us that the things that we have currently witnessed within the last 6 months were absolutely impossible, and guess what? They happened in less than 6 months. Kind of crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was on CNN and I got the spy operation post on CNN. And oh boy, everybody got mad. Wow. I got the spy op post on CNN. And you would think people that followed Q would be like, oh my God, he got the spy op post on CNN. That's awesome, right?
No, that's exactly the opposite of the way they reacted.
So instead, Ivan Ranklin making us look like idiots was better on CNN.
Right. Yes, and actually, you are CNN now. Ivan Ranklin isn't, of course, but because you appeared on CNN, you are part of CNN now. And just like, we're part of everything else and every other person that we've spoken with.
Yeah, I'd like to read this post for everybody because it's important, Shady. The spy op Q post on CNN. When Matrix meets reality. On December 5th, 2024. D5, Shady. This was D5, December 5th.
I can't believe that was all the way back in December.
I know, right?
I was still 50 at that time.
Oh, God. You were. Now you're 51, baby.
I'm like almost.
I'm the big 5'7". Oh, God. All right. So I stepped on the CNN stage. I dropped the spy op Q post like a bombshell, praising Kash Patel and using Q posts like, 1% of the, FBI is bad, 99% good, right? Those are Q posts. With this interview, I used Q posts, okay? And, fast forward to now, it's all unfolding before our eyes. The Matrix just isn't a movie. It's our reality. The deep state tremors, Q whispers turning into roars, guys. And Kash Patel's book outlines it all. Remember when they tried to dismiss it as conspiracy fodder? You remember that, Shady. We're QAnon retards and all that stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Now it's the headline, okay? The same networks that mocked us are scrambling to catch up. The spy op just wasn't a post. It was a guide to D-class, what you're seeing now. And now here we are, watching the dominoes fall, the FBI, the Senate, and the media. Everyone's reevaluating. To those who doubted, I say this. The truth doesn't care about your timeline. It waits, it builds, and then it explodes. Kash Patel's journey and our Q curiosity, right? Kash is now the FBI director, and that is the ultimate plot twist. The Matrix is real, and we're living it. Stay tuned, because this is just the beginning, Shady. And I just want to, Let's just see if I can scrub it real quick to see, Going to see Jeffrey Peterson. Oh, I love you guys.
Oh, look at us.
Look at us, Shady.
Bring them in right now.
You guys are the best. I love being on your program.
We love you too, Cash. Thank you. And you're now the FBI director. So let's go.
With you.
Let's go find out. Oh, wait. This is the interview part.
For a lot of people, QAnon.
Okay, let me just try to find, because I put the spy op post in here. Like, I showed him the spy op post, guys, on CNN, and it's happening today. Like, wouldn't we be happy about that, Shady?
You would think so.
But there's a 1% that is not good.
The anonymous Q persona hasn't posted in a few years, but the world of QAnon is still very real for people like Jeff.
Look at spy op. And I was reading it to him, and I'm showing him that these are all the Fusion GPS, CrowdStrike, all what you're reading today is on CNN, guys. Shady.
The beginning of all of this stuff goes back to the reality that what happened was that the Democrats put up a weak candidate, okay? Yeah. And because Hillary Clinton was so weak and Donald Trump was so strong that they had to have something to balance the scale, okay? The stuff that we have witnessed go down over the last 10 years in America, you could not have convinced many of us 10 years ago that these things were even possible. The idea that we would be censored, the idea that people would be taken off of line for their political beliefs, the idea that someone who said, "Make America great again," would be deemed a Nazi, Jeff, effectively. Yeah. That's what happened. They're deeming a Nazi to the person who actually was able to stand up there and who was actually able to put forward the agenda. It's one thing to say it, guys. It's one thing to say it. It's one thing to say you're America first. All these people are saying it. People say it. Doesn't mean they are. Everybody said it. George Bush said no new taxes. How did that turn out? Everybody said America first. None of them really believed it. This is the issue. This is where the communication breakdown was happening between we the people and the president of the United States, the bully pulpit of the United States. We the people were making demands, and the presidents of the United States were doing things that were against what we wanted them to do and telling us that they had no options. Yeah. Donald Trump in 6 months has blown all that out of the water and now corrected the record, because the president has the authority to do all of these things that he's doing, riding the ship. And then that also doesn't just point us in the right direction, guys. It shows us what they were doing to us before, and we have to remember that. Yeah. That's the reason what Jeff is saying with the spy op post is so important, because we're now at the point where we're showing to you what it was that they did to protect themselves from a weak candidate. It wasn't just the Democrats. It was the whole globalist establishment on the earth working together to stop we the people and Donald Trump from being successful. That is an amazing thing to say whenever you slow down and think about it.
And I want to show you this too, because this is the book, right? This is the book that Cash did. It's called Government Gangsters, and they were really afraid of it, okay? Now, Shady, if you open it up to the section where he autographs it, let's see what he says here about this show. Do you think he likes it? I mean, he probably says, "Oh, guys, you guys stink," right?
Yeah, that's what he gets.
Right. To Jeffrey, look at that. You see that? Can you see it?
Yep.
Thanks for your support. Let me just see if I can get it in there. And show. Okay. In the Matrix, MG show, where we go one, we go all, Cash Patel. Look at that, guys. Okay. Look at that. Okay. And you know what? You know what I'm saying, Shady?
Well, the reality of the situation is we spoke with him whenever he was on the show about that post. Remember? Yep. I mean, you remember when we had him on the show, what we did was we were like, okay, well, how are we going to interface with him? So let's talk about the different things that have to do with Russia from the perspective of what Q was saying. Yeah. And let's interface with him on what he already knows. And it was insane the way that, that interview, if you haven't seen it, maybe we'll go grab the link real quick. There were two of them, but the first one I think was the one where we dug into this. But it was epic to see his reactions. I mean, it's even insane right now to think that this guy's the FBI director, but it was epic to see that the stuff that we had read through Q, there's X amount of this stuff that we've read that isn't completely provable. You see that Q wrote that these people were associated, but you don't see a paper trail until now. This is the future proves past moment and it seems like all the people that are paying attention to Q are over there connecting timestamps to General Flynn's Twitter, as opposed to paying attention to how General Flynn was the plant that created the Russia narrative to begin with.
Exactly. I mean, his payments from RT for that and sitting there with. So here it is. Q post, spy op on CNN.
Jeffrey.
News unlocks what the Q posts are. Like, for example, Kashyap Patel, a name to remember. Kashyap Patel has just been nominated as the FBI director, right? That's a Q proof, what we call.
Couldn't I just say, well, Q is posted 5,000 times. You just posted a name. Like,
Yeah, you can absolutely say that. And, but what about all the other names?
In our interview, Jeffrey made it very clear that he condemns violence. He's not a fan of
Yeah,
the Proud Boys,
that's right.
Oath Keepers, or other groups that conspired to cause violence on January 6th.
And I stand behind that. But I got the spy op post. They're just names, right? They're just everybody's name that conspired to spy on Donald J. Trump and White House, and Hussein is at the top, guys.
At the very top.
At the very top. And that's all coming out now. So literally, Shady, from 12/5 to today. Look at that.
8 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, it's almost 8 months now.
And we can say, July because that's when it all came out, right? So
Right.
Look at that, guys. It's crazy. And, again, here it is. This is it. Well. Here's the spy op post, Shady Grove, right here in its beautiful glory, right there. 6/18/2018, Shady Grove. 8/20/18/28 post is the spy op post. White House, Hussein, Valerie Jarrett. Who's DM again, Shady Grove? John Brennan. We got all the names in it there, but
Montgomery or
Dennis Montgomery.
no, it's like it's not. It wasn't. I think it was.
Yeah,
I've got it on the map over here.
Boy, we got a lot of issues with our stream today. Yeti, can you give me an update as to what's actually happening? Yeti. Okay, we're all on the right page. The short link works. It says MG Show has rated MG Show. Click on that to get to the right MG Show because we rated ourselves.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. And please hit the like button, guys. We need you to hit the like button. Rumble. It's Rumble-aya issues, okay? It happens. And I don't think we got our local stream up as well. So there's some issues with Rumble. But what I'm trying to say is that we've got the FBI director, Shady, and I want to go back on with Donnie O'Sullivan and rub this in his face, okay? He wanted me to bring the book to the interview, but I decided not to, okay? Because he said, where we go, when we go all, and they might have used that against him, right? So I was trying to be good to Cash because I respect him, and I know that he was a name to remember, and I know that he loves this show, Shady Grove.
10 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to say that someone would be offended by a statement called "Where we go, when we go all."
Yeah, I mean, geez, it's from a movie, White Squall. Thank you for playing.
But the statement, like, what's wrong with the statement? It's like they're trying to make fun of "Make America Great Again" in the same way. Where we go, when we go on. Like, so this is the way that the system tries to break people who are trying to break the system. You understand this, right? They attack the messaging. They attack the messenger. They never interface with the actual action that's being created that is stimulating the conversation.
Yeah, exactly right. And wow, we had Cash on our show. What is it, 4 times, Shady?
I thought it was 3, but maybe 4.
3-4 times. And, maybe we're still in contact today. You never know. All right. So what's going on, Shady Groove? What's going on today? We had an interview with Newsmax on Friday. We also had a gaggle, Shady Groove, yesterday, Sunday. And it's there's so much winning. We go away for a weekend, Shady Groove.
Well, what happened on Friday? We read to you guys the Pandora's Box book regarding the Federal Reserve and the takeover of the Federal Reserve, and then all of a sudden we lost the governor.
Yeah,
Federal Reserve governor resigned on Friday. One of the board members just said, "You know what? The heat is too hot in this kitchen. I'm getting the heck out."
Yeah, it's crazy, guys.
So I imagine that's going to happen. Like, by the way, I'm predicting that that's going to snowball. I'm thinking that we're going to have another governor resignation within about 5 or 6 days. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens, dude. Yeah.
All right.
So we got Trump on Finnery, and I got to just see how long the actual interview is. Let me just go double check because I think Keek got it for us. Let me just double check where that is because I see a couple of different times here, and they could be different segments. I want to play the whole thing because we always see little bits and pieces, right? This show likes to focus on exactly what our president says, right, Shady? I mean, we like to hear everything in full context.
Yes, because we've learned that it doesn't really matter who they are, whether it be the Alex Jones nuts, the General Flynn nuts, or the Democrats. None of them can understand what the man says. They all conflate his words and try to make it seem like he meant something that he did not mean.
Yeah.
Much like whenever he called Epstein a hoax, well, they took that to mean that Epstein didn't exist. Like, they think that Trump is trying to tell them that Epstein was an apparition and making it go away and pretending like nothing ever happened. Like, that's their interpretation of him saying that Epstein's story is a hoax.
Well, we might actually have some proof to back that up, but we're going to wait on that because we need to dig a little bit further on it, Shady.
We have a striking ability to listen to the man in the arena.
Yeah. And I'm telling you right now,
nobody else does.
Something's up. All right, let me just double check to see where Trump comes in. Hang on. Okay, here he comes. All right, here we go. All right, you guys ready? Shady, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Nice setup.
Good evening. Welcome back to Finity. Glad you're here on a Friday. We are in Washington at the White House, where today I had the honor of sitting down with our 47th president. We had a wide-ranging conversation that lasted for more than 20 minutes. We hope you enjoy it.
Mr. President, I just wanted to thank you for having us to the White House today. It is truly an honor to be here and to do this with you. There is some breaking news today. The jobs numbers came out this morning. I guess they were lower than expected. But you've announced that you're firing your a Biden appointee, the head of the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, her name, Dr. Erica McIntarfer. Tell us about what was going on here.
Well, it's a Biden appointee, and we've had problems in the past, and we had problems even before the election. You remember those wonderful results that were put out just before the election, and everybody said, where do they come from? Then I think they adjusted it after the election, and we had some difficulties with her, and there had been a lot of questions, and we fired her because we didn't believe the numbers today. Even though interest rates are too high, we have a terrible head of the Fed. He keeps interest rates too high. And I could understand that, but I don't believe those numbers. I think because we're doing so well, and we fired her. This is not something from just now. This was before the election, where she got, meaning Kamala. We thought it was Biden, but turned out being Kamala, where they got very, very strong numbers. I said, what's this all about? And they adjusted them, and then later on they adjust them, I guess, downward. But we don't want that. We want straight numbers. I was thinking this morning when I saw the numbers, I said, who makes these numbers anyway? I never gave it much thought other than before the election, but it didn't work out too well. For them, I won the election. So maybe people don't believe it or whatever. But I was saying to myself, I wonder who does this. And when I checked, I said, this person is very suspect to me. So we fought.
So the accusation is this person was essentially cooking the books and the numbers are not accurate.
Well, I think there's some strange things going on because just before the election, they came out with these great numbers. And I said, I don't believe those numbers. They weren't good. And then I believe they had to do some correcting a little bit after the election. But no, we don't want that. We don't want to take any chances. We don't want to play any games.
I want to ask you about Jerome Powell, and you posted this on Truth Social, sir, just recently. Jerome Powell, too late Powell, has done it again. He's too late, too angry, too stupid, too political to have a job as Fed chair. Why don't you remove him?
They say it would disturb the market. I would remove him in a heartbeat, but they say it would disturb the market, and he gets out in 7 or 8 months, and I'll put somebody else in. But
is it a possibility that you remove him? Because you have cause. To me, that $700 million disaster down the road at the Fed headquarters is cause to remove somebody.
He's building a building for $2.9 billion, a renovation for $2.9 billion, the Fed. And it's not that intricate inside to start off with. I do a lot of that.
Right.
I built a very successful hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue as a renovation, the old post office. I know more about renovating buildings or building buildings than like anybody maybe. And I will tell you, he's got $2.9 billion that they're spending in this thing, and really more than that if you include the whole project. And it's way over budget by hundreds of millions of dollars. And he shouldn't be doing that. It's almost like he's building a palace for himself, but he's not going to be there much longer anyway. That's the good news. He'll never get to use it. No, the Fed rate is too high. Interest rates are too high. And despite that, we have a great economy.
We do, but Jerome Powell stays in place for now.
Well, it's very disruptive if you fire, so I would say most likely, yeah.
Okay. The markets today are up and down. Today is tariff day. Today was an important day, but you've had another incredible week that doesn't get the attention it probably should. There were several A-list events this week. The GDP numbers were great. Right. We had a surplus in June. Inflation is, I think, 2.4%. What's your message to Americans who might be concerned about paying more, perhaps even in the short term, for things that they need?
Well, before the message, I have to say that I think that these numbers were incorrect today. Not that they were horrible. I've seen much worse numbers than this, but right. I think that these numbers were incorrect today because nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw the smaller numbers not only announced, but going back and restating her numbers because she made a mistake. You know, that was the bigger numbers. So I think they're wrong. Very importantly, we have prices down. We have energy way down. Inflation is almost non-existent. It's way down from what it was. They had the highest inflation, essentially in the history of our country. They say 48 years. I would say it's much beyond 48 years. The place was a mess.
June of 2022, it was over 9%.
Right. So
you left office, it was 1.4%.
That's correct. And now we have it down again. We brought it down. But prices are down. You know, when I hear the Democrats, they come out with sound bites. They say, prices are up under Trump. No, they're way down. I brought them way down. Even eggs. You remember the first week, Rob, I went in and they said, eggs are up 4 or 5 times. It was like crazy what was happening with eggs. Don't buy eggs. I fixed that, and I fixed it rapidly before Easter and so many other things. But prices are actually way down. Prices are down for groceries. They're down for energy, oil. You see what's happening with oil. We have some states where it's $1.99 a gallon. Mm-hmm. More typically, $2.33 a gallon. Mm-hmm. And they were at $3.90. They were really much higher than that during terms of the Biden administration. He took our energy policy, which was unbelievable. He ended it. And then he tried to bring it back as fast as he could because you were going to go up to $7 or $8 a gallon. So he brought it back, but that didn't work out too well. No, we're doing a great job.
The national average for gas under Joe Biden set an all-time record, and it was at $5 a gallon.
Yeah.
That had never happened before.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about the Chuck Grassley and Russiagate and some of the information that we got yesterday.
Sure.
My monologue last night was all about this. These new emails, Mr. President, suggest essentially that Hillary Clinton personally approved the Russia hoax.
With Obama.
With Barack Obama. And my question is she finally going to pay for what she did, or does she get a pass again?
So, you know, we had her, and I had her right under the sights, and I told the people, look, you can't do this to a president's wife, an ex-president, and she was Secretary of State, but you can't do this to the wife of a president. And
do you still feel that way?
Well, I'll tell you how I feel about it in a sec. If you remember, I was at a rally, and it was after the election, and they said, lock her up. And I said, no, look, we won, just relax. And I didn't do what other people would have done.
Flynn had said that.
And then they went after me, and they meant it. I said, you know, it's amazing. I always felt that you shouldn't be doing this stuff. And I let Hillary off the hook. I totally left her off the hook. And then I let her off the hook for what? And then I come in, and they did the same thing to me. The difference is they actually meant it. And they hurt a lot of people, and it was all a hoax. And now they have it in black and white. No, I think they should pay a price.
How directly?
By the way, it's a very big price. It could be the biggest scandal in the history of our country, but it continues onward. And that continues onward. You know, that scandal has continued from the beginning. They have everything they do is a hoax. They're no good at anything other than some forms of nasty politics.
I think how much it hurt you in your first term. And I think about these names, Brennan, Comey, Clapper.
The worst.
Hillary Clinton.
All bad.
How directly do you think Barack Obama was involved?
Totally. He knew about it. We have it cold. He has it in writing. It's all, he said, you could almost say that he was almost more of the mastermind. He heard what she was doing, And then he approved it. And when and not only approved it, he approved it and pushed it. And they knew it was fake. They knew the Russia thing was fake. I'm not great with Russia. I was tougher in Russia. Don't forget the pipeline. I was the one that ended the Russian pipeline. Nobody ever even knew they were building a pipeline. I ended it. So, and when Biden came in, by the way, one of the first things he did was approve it. I had it ended. Now, that was the biggest economic development job they've ever done. That was going to all over Europe, and I ended it. No, I was the opposite. And I'll tell you what, for that to have gone on, it's one of the great scandals, I think, in the history of our country. I know it is.
Are you willing to take this all the way to indictments?
Well, it's up to Pam Bondi, who's doing a terrific job, and she'll have to work with law enforcement to see what she wants to do. And I'm not giving her advice one way or the other.
Okay.
I can tell you, though, I read like you read, and I read things that are unbelievable that just came out yesterday.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Now, they've been coming out over the last number of months.
Right.
But what came out over the last few days is incredible.
Let me ask you, Mr. President, just about pardons. I've got 3 names for you. And the first one, look, the media didn't care about this story when Joe Biden was in office. Suddenly they care about this story again. Ghislaine Maxwell serving 20 years in prison for sex trafficking. Is clemency on the table for her in exchange for testimony?
I'm allowed to do it, but nobody's asked me to do it. I know nothing about it. I don't know anything about the case, but I know I have the right to do it. I have the right to give pardons. I've given pardons to people before, but nobody's even asked me to do it.
Sean Diddy Combs?
Right.
Would you consider pardoning him?
Well, he was essentially, I guess, sort of half innocent.
Yes.
I don't know what they do. He's still in jail or something, but he was celebrating a victory, but he seems, I guess it wasn't as good as a victory. Probably, you know, I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great, and seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him well. But when I ran for office, he was very hostile.
He said some not so nice things about you, sir.
Yeah, and it's hard, you know, like you, we're human beings.
Right.
And we don't like to have things cloud our judgment, right? But when you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office and he made some terrible statements. So I don't know, it's more difficult. It makes it more, I'm being honest, it makes it more difficult to do.
But more likely a no for Combs?
I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about George Santos?
Boy.
He just went away, 7 years.
You know, he was, he lied like hell, I have to tell you. And I didn't know him, but he was 100% for Trump. But I didn't, you know, I might have met him, maybe not, I don't know. But he was a congressman and his vote was solid. It sounds like a lot. He got in. You know, you could blame the other side for not checking him out.
Yeah.
He didn't do all those things that he said.
Local news missed it. Everybody missed it.
Well, you could say the media missed it. Everybody missed it. They found out about this stuff after the election was won. So nobody's talked to me about it. So they really, you know, they haven't talked to me about the two. They have talked to me about Sean, but they haven't talked to me about the two. But again, with him, I have the right to do it. Nobody's asked me, but it's interesting. Is it 7 years?
7 years. He just went away.
That's a long time.
Your Deputy Attorney General sat down with Ghislaine Maxwell for 9 hours. I'm just wondering when the American people get to hear what she said during that interview.
Well, I don't know, because I haven't spoken about it, but he's a very talented guy, Todd Blanche, and a very straight shooter.
Yeah.
And I think he probably wanted to know, you know, just to get a feeling of it. Because we'd like to release everything, but we don't want people to get hurt that shouldn't be hurt.
Yeah.
And I would assume that was why he was there. I want to release everything. I just don't want people to get hurt. You can't have people associated. First of all, the files were run by some very bad people and very sick people like Comey and Lisa, the whole group, you know, all those people in that office. They ran those files for 4 years. And if they were going to use the files, they would have used it before my election, because unless they're stupid, which to a certain extent they are stupid.
You're saying they would have released the information.
I think that something very, very clear should be coming through to you as he's talking here, and as we've moved through this whole thing to be with Epstein. It should be clear to you that what has been going on is that the FBI have been using those files to blackmail him. And that's the reason that he's characterizing this in the way that he's characterizing it, because of the way that they're so think about it like, they're leaking these stories to the Washington Post, to the New York Times. They do all this leaking into the Mother Earth Jones, all these different stories. They come out of nowhere. People are like, where'd they come from? Somebody got a scoop. No, the FBI leaked a story about somebody. So effectively what they've been doing to the global elite, if you will, is they've been utilizing this as a weapon, a cudgel against them. And so because they've done that, they've tainted the evidence. And now the evidence that's currently in the files isn't relevant to anything because it's been manipulated and maneuvered and used for this and used for that and used for this. And now that we've got an interview with Ghislaine Maxwell, to me, it seems like, it's like, I want to hear the interview. No, you don't want to hear the interview. You said you wanted arrests. You can't have both. If you want arrests, then you don't get to hear the interview because now he's got to go investigate to see if the nutty lady things that she said are true or not, which takes time, people. It's just so funny to watch everybody not understand how the system works and like go on TV like they're smart.
Do we go talk about the Ponzi scheme yet, Shady? Do we talk about that yet?
I'm 100% down if you want to go into it. I mean, we didn't get to get to it on Friday, but it's very compelling, and I actually didn't get to dig in on this, but I think that what you've got right there, and I can give a little bit of color to it, but not a lot.
All right, so let's not a lot.
Not a lot. I didn't bring full on dig to it.
So let's go to qag.news real quick, or Nothing Can Stop What Is Coming, and let's put in Ponzi, Ponzi. Okay, Ponzi.
Can I just take everything? This is a good idea for you. So what he's getting ready to present to you is going to be something that's going to unlock a couple things. Like, oh wow, and it might even connect to something that I just said, but it's going to connect to these people who pretend like they really care about the truth. They don't care about the truth. They care about clicks, narratives, and making money.
Ponzi, okay? The Ponzi scheme is right here. And I forgot about this post, Shady. Okay? Mark Medvedev. Medvedev was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
We don't see
and
it.
Grew up. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I was just trying to alert you that we need to see.
Gotcha. Yeah. So Medvedev was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and grew up attending a conservative Jewish synagogue. His parents are both former Democratic members of the House of Representatives. His father is Edward Medvedev, born in 1937, who embezzled more than $10 million. In 1937, $10 million is a lot of money, okay?
That's a lot.
A lot. From people via both a Ponzi scheme and the advanced fee scams. Okay? Listen to me again. The Ponzi scheme and the advance fee scams, and was found guilty of fraud in 2001. His mother is Marjorie Margolis. 1942, she was born, who was a TV reporter and represented Pennsylvania's 13th district from 93 to 95. They declared bankruptcy shortly before Medvedev's conviction and divorced. Follow him and family down the hole to find more truth.
Boy, does that sound intriguing.
Yeah. So there's
what
Mark
are we gonna
Medvedev.
find?
Well, you're going to find out that she's the husband of Chelsea Clinton.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Okay? Yeah. And now you got Huma with Soros. Okay. So you're starting to understand that. And let's just go back to this one more time. The advanced fee scams. All right. So let's now look at what Livid actually drug up. Okay. This is proof. Okay. So this is from the Relentless Pursuit. This is Bradley Edwards, who actually was a lawyer, okay? And he says, just when I thought I had heard it all, I'd learned that the cases I was litigating against Jeffrey Epstein had been used in the final chapter of Scott's Ponzi scheme. Now, that's Scott Rothstein. Roth's fly? Okay, so this is Rothstein, Scott Rothstein. Got it? And the premise of this scheme was to tell investors that he represented victims of sexual abuse or sexual harassment who had received large settlements that would be paid out to the victims over a period of time. For a significant payment, the investor could acquire the rights to the long-term payouts of the settlement. For example, Scott would tell an investor that the abuse victim received a settlement that would pay her $20 million over the next 10 years. But then she would prefer to receive a one-time lump sum of $5 million immediately. The investor would then pay the $5 million and acquire the rights to the $20 million over time. What the investors didn't know is that these were not real cases or settlements at all. Instead, they were made-up stories living in Scott Rothstein's mind.
Absorb that for a second. What does that mean?
That means that there might not be victims.
There you go.
Okay.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, are we really starting to open up the can of worms now.
Yeah. And then you go to look at Rothstein. I'll drop it here, but this is, here you go. Let's just watch.
It's an office photo collection any wheeler dealer would envy.
That's a very, very unique piece.
The court asked Benny Fisher to auction it off.
This was where he was a guest at the inauguration of the president.
This person is very tied in politically. Can you imagine going into his office and seeing all of this? I mean, that adds a lot of credibility to who this person is.
Absolutely, absolutely.
There's the one with President George Bush, his brother Jeb, and a bunch of other governors. Palin, Schwarzenegger, Richardson. Scott Rothstein is the man standing with all these politicians. He's a fixture.
And interesting to note that Roger Stone worked at his law firm.
Correct.
Fort Lauderdale, an attorney who donated at least $1.9 million to political campaigns.
So they donated to political campaigns. You see this? How this is working, guys? So J.G. Wentworth, but fraudulent. You see?
Yep. You see, it's a scam, and you could also see that the scam only works if you have all these people that are in the in the system. They've got the judges, they got the lawyers, they got the police, they got the mayors, they got everybody somehow connected within the system of control.
And you also have to remember that, $550 million were paid out to Epstein's victims. Were they real victims? I mean, these are the questions that we have. Q said follow the money, not the pedophiles.
That's true.
Okay.
That's
so if you follow
absolutely
the
true.
money, yeah. So what about Virginia? This is Virginia Giuffre, okay? Virginia, who would not scare easily. She was a strong mother who determined to set an example for children by standing up to improve lives of those who had experienced similar misfortune. To appreciate Virginia's fortitude, I need to know where she came from. Virginia detailed as well she could. Her childhood was no fairy tale, start to finish, something out of a horror movie. Early age, Virginia's parents put her girls in the home and that she couldn't tolerate. She ran away. She boarded a bus in Palm Beach and went to Miami. She was beautiful, tall, thin, blonde, with bright blue eyes, who had not showered or eaten in days when a limousine pulled up next to the bus stop where she was sitting. The man in the car rolled down the window, says, "You look like you could use a place to stay. Hop in." Adventurous, alone, and nowhere to go, she hopped in. The 63-year-old man who introduced herself as Ron Eppinger. He treated this 15-year-old kid as his new girlfriend. He was a professional sex trafficker who imported women from Europe to pimp out as part of his escort service called Perfect 10. Within a month of Virginia's arrival, Ron learned that he had been noticed by the FBI. The FBI was solely focused on the international escort service that Ron was running, and it had not hit their radar that he was also coercing with a 15-year-old into sex. Ron was scared. He didn't want to be caught, especially with Virginia. So that night, they drove from Miami to Ocala, Florida, where he brutally abused the mental and physically and mentally. Desperately wanted to escape, but she was afraid that he would kill her if she tried. So she figured she had been stashed somewhere in a barn in the middle of Ocala Woods in northern Florida. Ron needed to get rid of her one way or another. Unbeknownst to Virginia, was coordinated with someone to take her off his hands. And in 1999, Ron drove Virginia to Hot Chocolate nightclub in Fort Lauderdale and introduced her to a friend, David Kelmanson, who was involved in a seedy club scene. Kelmanson made her his so-called girlfriend. For weeks, Kelmanson showed her off at the nightclub, right? But now the FBI was hot on Eppinger's trail, which meant they were on the trail of his friends. Virginia was in bed with Kelmanson one night in Wilton Manor's police department, and the FBI burst through the front door. In 1999, she was taken to the police station as predicted. Her parents were called to pick her up. Her father came to take her home. This time, he didn't kick her out. Virginia's father worked at the maintenance man at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago Golf Club in Palm Beach, where he helped her get summer jobs as a towel girl in the club's women locker room. Okay, Trump said that she worked in the spa. This is exactly what it is.
Yep.
She couldn't change her past and run away, but she had tremendous energy to be successful. Working at the spa introduced her to a lifestyle of the famous and wealthy clientele on a daily basis. Okay. Virginia went to the public library to get a book of massage therapy and brought it to work. She was reading it on her lunch break. One day, she was sitting on the bench outside Mar-a-Lago Spa, and she was approached by a beautiful, charming woman who struck her as supremely important and elegant. Her British accent added to her allure. The woman showed the interest in the book Virginia was reading and wasted no time telling that she could get Virginia a job with her billionaire friend who owned a house around the corner. Virginia was told that the woman was just trying to learn but really didn't know much about massage, to which the woman replied that she and her boss would teach Virginia anything she needed to know. She handed Virginia the address and said, "I'm Ghislaine. See you tonight," presupposing that Virginia would show up. Virginia ran to her father, excited. Someone thought she was important. This was her chance, and she couldn't let it slip by. Virginia had been beaten, abused, sexually assaulted, discarded, and told by the world she would amount to nothing. Still, here she was, only 16 and about to start working for a billionaire. That evening, Virginia's father drove her down to the palatial Palm Beach mansion on the water, 358 El Brillo Way. Too naive to be scared, Virginia hopped out of the car, went to the door, ready to leave her past behind. So this is where you're going. So this is the perfect 10. This is a little bit of it, but her story is Eppinger and Epstein and Ghislaine, right? Not anybody else. And this wasn't. It's interesting to where we're at with Trump calling this a scam, and then we have Ponzi scheme in the books where Chelsea is actually married to Mavinsky. Follow that family to find the truth. Is the truth that they were using fake testimony from alleged sexually abused women and then offering them a $20 billion or $1 million payout, giving them $5 to shut up, okay, and then taking over the rest of the $20 million for themselves? Could that be happening, Shady?
Yes, it could absolutely be happening. As a matter of fact, looks like it is happening. As a matter of fact, whenever we start to look at all of these different things that have occurred to us, Jeff, we start to see things as a mosaic, right? We notice patterns. I noticed that, we got all of this payout to Fox News, okay, for this massive.
From Dominion, yeah.
Yeah, this massive. And then you got this massive, like, $550 million payout from JP Morgan, and then you're somehow utilizing the payout to, like, promise people $20 million if you give me, like what in the world is going on, everybody? Yeah. This is connecting directly to what I was talking about right before Jeff started explaining this, with the idea of what the files actually are and what they are being used for, as compared to what all of the people out here on social media in the Mike Flynn, Pizzagate, frazzle drip nonsense saga that they've been driving into us since before Q, by the way. Michael Flynn Jr. was thrown out of the first administration because of the Pizzagate nonsense. Q does not talk about Pizzagate, and all these different things that associated with Pizzagate have turned out to be absolute nonsense.
So Eppinger was actually arrested and convicted, guys, okay?
Correct.
He was convicted of modern U.S. sex trafficking statutes and enacted in 2000, and was part of the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. His crimes, smuggling, specifically for prostitution, involved elements akin to sex trafficking. He went to jail, guys, and he died in Lauderdale already. He's already passed away. But these are the things that people don't dig on, and kudos, Livid, to
yes.
Dig on this. So, did Virginia Giuffre get a lot of money? And she's dead today, so she can't tell the story that she might be involved in a Ponzi scheme.
So is Epstein, the pimp. The
pimp.
I meant to say perp. I said pimp.
Kevin, show me what. So, Kevin, what's the real side of Pizzagate, Kevin? What is it?
Oh, ruh-roh.
Yeah, just tell me, because you are believing a psyop. Do you realize that? You realize that, right?
It really wasn't, and I can provide you guys with the sauce that explains to you that there really wasn't emails communicating about calling kids pizza, guys. I'm sorry, it didn't happen. Like you can read the emails yourself in the full context and see what's being said. But this idea is like, hang on, think about the stuff that you're saying about the FBI having these secret code words and all this nonsense that goes along with that. Who's been in the FBI for the last 30 years? Who's responsible for burying the Finders information that came out decades ago about the actual trafficking network? Who's been burying this 764 thing and this order of 9 angles and the people that were associated with the people that attacked President Trump? The same exact people that are part of the military-industrial complex and the Strat 4 InfoWars organizations that's been feeding you this shit ad nauseum, okay?
Yeah.
So you've got to take your mind out of the game for a second, dig in deeper. I'd be more than happy to provide you with information that will enlighten you as to
And let
why
me tell you,
nonsense.
and you know, to your point, Shady Grove, Michael Flynn Jr. got fired for Pizzagate from the Trump administration. Do you understand?
Because of the way he was interfacing with the media and making stories about things that weren't true. And they were
Liz
connecting to Trump.
Liz Crokin was then usurped, and now she's part of the Little Flowers Advisory Board from General Flynn. Those are the psyopers that psyoped you into thinking that this was real, guys. What if it's not real? Can you just take your head out? There's no basement. There's nothing there. And then Alex Jones, gets everybody so hyper that somebody goes to try to shoot people there. Okay? And then they blame it on Q.
That guy just died.
And that guy just died.
Like less than 6 months ago. Now he can't talk. Epstein can't talk. Jeffrey can't talk. Liz Crokin is emailing back and forth like on Instagram or whatever with Alfonso. Jeff, you hit on something that's very interesting. You said, oh, why do the
What did I say?
Why you said about why aren't they paying attention? The Q people, why aren't they paying attention? You just proved why they're not paying attention. Going back and reading that Q post, finding what you just found to understand what the specifics of that case were, that reality, that was because you went back and read a Q post. You see, you're not going to figure any of these things out if you skip going back to read. Oh no, we just move on from Q. Everybody, let's move into devolution. Let's move into Insurrection Act. Let's move into what that the other nonsense that Rattletrap guy is saying. Like all these different narratives. Let's get away from the drops that actually gave you crumbs. Q never said these drops are meant to be golden and the truth. Q said these drops are crumbs for you to dig on and questions for you to answer.
Yeah.
That's why they don't dig into it, because they know that if they dig into it, it uncovers more of the stuff that exposes them.
So now we get a comment like this because people cannot understand. So there's absolutely no child trafficking?
Oh,
yeah, God. Biden did it. Didn't you not see it? There's 300,000 children missing. Okay? That has nothing to do with Pizzagate.
There's no Pizzagate.
Yeah.
It's
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you've been psyoped is what I'm saying. And you might not like me for telling you the truth, but you'll be back because we're always wrong.
Until we're right. I mean, it's like we're not saying that there's no child trafficking, guys. We're saying that the child trafficking is being buried and you're being fed nonsense and pretending like they're helping child trafficking. The same people that have the Little Flowers organization and Liz Crokin that told you to call the 800 number that Q said was Clinton's usurping the trafficking. Those are the people that are feeding you the Pizzagate narrative.
Yeah,
exactly. They're distracting you from the truth. This whole thing has been a distraction.
And they make you look dumb.
Try saying this nonsense to people that don't pay attention to Twitter.
Yeah.
They don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I might lose a lot of friends for showing you that there probably is no list. They used a Ponzi scheme to blackmail people for money laundering. Follow the money.
We won't be the first time.
Yeah. Breathe, Shady. Breathe.
Thank you, Scottish. And on I goose braba.
Yeah. So, don't get mad at me. I just started watching your show. I'm new. I'm not mad at you, Susie.
We are mad.
In fact, I'm mad. No, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad
at Script.
I'm mad at Script Keeper.
Because he's over there hanging out with you in Florida. You guys are like all out there in sunny Florida. Yeah, look at me. Yeah, whatever. By the way, you guys were good together.
Yeah. Thank you. And I'm not mad at you, Susie, but this is how people think. And you just gave me a great example of how people think when they are fooled on X, okay? And by people that infiltrated Trump's movement to make you heroize somebody that is not in Trump's movement. He was fired in 23 days, okay? This is Trump's movement. MAGA is Trump's movement. It's not Bannon's. It's not anybody else's. It's yours and Trump's.
That's right.
It's ours. It's we the people.
And God bless you for being new here and finding us. Yeah. And we hope that you stick around because we have a lot of people that we have to talk to directly because they're trying to drive these narratives. Like we don't really talk. We have a low tolerance for all of these. Guys, we've been through this.
Yeah.
If the stuff with the pay soars didn't happen to us, we wouldn't have been able to identify what happened to us over this nonsense with Flynn.
Yeah.
Because it was the same exact thing. It was just a different topic. Like, we're an issue to them. Like, so because we're an issue to them, they want to drive these narratives and send these people over that attack me. They called me a pedophile, by the way. I just want you to understand this. People like
called me that too.
They call us pedophiles, this Mr. Truth Bomb and all these people, because we're explaining to you that Pizzagate is a psyop narrative. Donald Trump says Epstein is a hoax. He's not saying there is no Epstein. We're not saying there is no trafficking. We're saying that these narratives are being utilized as a cudgel or a weapon to cause fear, uncertainty, and doubt in your head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that explain it?
Exactly right. And chaos and confusion. I mean, they absorb the confused. And if, and you're not going to do your own digging because a lot of people can't. They don't have the time. They're working. They've got children. I dig, Shady Groove, and I've dug a lot. How many hours do you think that we've got dug on Q? How many hours do you think?
Saying 8 years? I mean, you're talking.
Okay, so we're over the target. Look, we got grifters. We got Jewish President Trump. Yeah, see, they're grifters. We're grifters. That's what we're doing. Right,
I'm
we're
not sure
grifting.
they're talking, but I think they're talking to somebody else. He's talking. They're in a conversation. They're not talking about us.
They're in a conversation. My bad. But so General Flynn does not like Q. That's grifting. He uses Q's phrases. He took the oath. That's grifting. He doesn't believe in Q.
Right.
And then he makes money off it, grifting.
Correct.
Yes.
That's exactly. And Q is not something to believe in. What Flynn has done is he's taken the idea of what Q was posting and he's circumnavigated it and co-opted it and tried to make it a fundraiser for himself, which is exactly what Q meant about making it that's profiteering. That's the same thing as profiteering, grifting, profiteering.
Yep. And we got B Flowers saying, keep digging on Racine, guys.
Why do we have to throw in Racine? Like they bring it all at the same time. They can't leave us, by the way.
No.
You guys, we love our haters. You're awesome.
We do.
Guitar Anon is out there. God bless you, dude.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're such a numb
Appreciate
nut.
it. Hey, real quick, I want to say happy birthday to Cram. What's up, Mark? Happy
60!
birthday. Wow, the big 60. Wow.
Ooh.
Holy moly. Whew.
Love you, Cram. Cram's been
we
here.
love you. Yeah, and we got
How
some.
long have you been here, Cram?
Yeah.
And God bless the new people.
Yeah. D Miles USN says focus on Pizzagate nonsense distracted the nation and was aimed at discrediting the right. Almost succeeded. Amen. That's a great comment.
Got it.
And that's what we are seeing, guys. B Sports says no. Love you guys. Would never call you grifters. We love you
I
too.
told
Thank
you.
I know. So
He's
Shady,
a lover, not a fighter.
but I'm ready to go.
I know. Well, it's Monday where you had 2 days of not being able to go. It's like we were holding you back, like wrenching you down with the ratchet straps, and he's like, "I gotta go."
Yeah, we got to go. All right, so we're gonna Racy.
Thank you for that, Apples.
My God,
I really needed that.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's watching Clay Clark anymore. They shouldn't. I mean, it's ridiculous. Everybody, all these narratives are stupid, guys. And they really wanted you to. That's why the Flynn Network and all these people started doing all these little things in like all the states, right? Pennsylvania, they sat there and said there's vote fraud and blah, blah, blah. So they would enter court cases and they would get rejected for no standing. It was all a plan, guys. It was all a plan. The way that they steal votes is they bring in illegal aliens, okay? 750,000 illegal aliens in a city equals another seat for that state. Do you get it?
I do.
That's why Texas is freaking out right now for the redistricting stuff in Texas, Shady.
All I can do is the Trump dance, man, like watching them like lose their minds. Because this is going to cascade also, by the way. Because they've been manipulating the stuff in the background for a minute. And now, everybody's like had enough of it.
No, Missy Beer, that was Jolene, not Racine. Jolene. Right, Shady?
That was Eddie. Eddie introduced the Racine Dolly Parton parody there.
Eddie the Yeti?
Eddie the Yeti, yes. He introduced that.
All right, guys. So we are just trying to figure out all these psychological operations. Yeah, and we love you. And we're figuring it out together. And, sometimes we say stuff that's going to challenge your mind. Go research it, man. So, President Trump called the Epstein files a scam, okay? They made up evidence. So if they made up evidence on Russiagate, Steele dossier, all that, do you think they would make up evidence on young girls and alleged victims to make money on them?
I do.
Kind of makes sense, right? Let's put our common sense hat on.
The old Occam's razor strikes again.
Yeah. And again, for Bill Clinton, he went there 28 times, but we need a victim, okay, in order to charge him with any crime.
Yes.
For that, okay, guys?
And Ghislaine can't be a victim because she only thing she can do is be hearsay. She can say things, but they have to go investigate. If there is not a victim, there will not be a case and there will not be a prosecution. I'm so sorry to inform you that you live in America.
And we'll be right back after these beautiful boom messages.
Hello to all of you beautiful patriots out there.
First of all, let me just thank you all for supporting this show. We wouldn't be here without you. But I have a huge announcement regarding donations.
It has come to our attention that using the Rumble app is taking an additional 30% of your donation to the show.
Let me explain. According to our TOS, Rumble takes 20% of all donations made through the web browser.
And that's a 20%. It's a good deal if you consider other platforms like YouTube and such.
There is a hidden cost that we just found out. For example, we received the generous $500 donation from Spill Tea, and thank you so much for that, from the Rumble app on Apple. So Rumble took 20%, and Apple took an additional 30%. We brought that to Rumble, and they said, well, Rumble's take of tips and donations is 20%. That's if the transaction is done through the web browser. If using the Android or iOS app, it's an additional 30% collected by those platforms.
So please use the web browser to make your donations to the show and avoid the hidden fees by Apple and Android.
That's right. You can also support us at GiveSendGo/HelpMGShow, mg.show/donate. We have PayPal and Cash App. Both are at RealMGShow or $RealMGShow. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Didn't steal the vote, no, not from him. They took the fire from your soul's own hymn, built a stage for the fall, a ritual's glow. Turn your memories to weapons, watch the embers grow. They pointed at you when the trigger was pulled, said you misfired, your heart overruled. It wasn't the count, no, it never was that. It's the belief they broke, left your mind cracked. They stole your resolve, not the crown. Rigged the perception to drag you down. Gaslight loops on a frequency screen. Drown out the silence, kill the dream. You weren't meant to win, just to doubt till your heart gives in and your fight burns out. It's a theater of lies, a media trance. Narrative spun in a state-approved dance. Half the world questions the light in their eyes, while the other half kneels to a machine's disguise. They don't need to cheat the numbers, oh no. They twist the truth till it's all you know. A seance of screens, their voices collide till you can't recall what's on your side. They stole your resolve, not the crown. Rigged the perception to drag you down. Gaslight loops on a frequency screen. Drown out the silence, kill the dream. You weren't meant to win, just to doubt till your heart gives in and your fight burns out. But the MG show lights the darkened air. MG music hums where the truth won't scare. Shatters their narrative, cracks the disguise. Great awakening sparks in the hearts that rise. Doubt the system, doubt the skies. doubt the truth behind your eyes. They want you lost, they want you tame. A spark snuffed out, no one to blame. But the theft's not done if you still breathe. Take back the fire, rip the seams. They stole your resolve, not the crown. Rig the perception to drag you down. Gaslight loops on a frequency scream. Drown out the silence, kill the dream. You weren't meant to win, just to doubt. But you're still here, so scream it out. Not a presidency, not a throne. They took your will, but it's not gone. Resolves the spark they can't erase. Rise up now, reclaim your place.
That's right. Did you hear the words to that song, Shady Grove? Doubt the system. Okay? They want you to doubt the system. That's why the networks ran election integrity. Okay? Count every vote. Count every legal vote. They want you to doubt the system. They want you to, they wanted to rig your perception. Okay? They want to gaslight you. Okay? They want to silence your dreams, kill your dreams. You weren't meant to win. You're just to doubt. Okay? Reclaim your space, Shady Grove. That's what this song is about. You're supposed to, it's not a presidency, it's not a throne. They took your will, but it's not gone, Shady. They cannot erase the spark that we have to rise up and reclaim our place. We, the people, are the cure. Not the military, not anything else. You're the cure. Shady Grove, you're the cure.
Once again, my great, wonderful American friends, the American system has worked. The Constitution has won. We, the people, are beating a corrupt system. The corrupt system was built around us as a cage. We were put in a cage. They stuck us all in a cage, and they said, you will live in this cage, and you will not come out of it. That was their plan. You know, the plan. Trust the plan. The military, fully controlled, no longer. You understand that? The whole thing about Q was teaching us how we were going to free ourselves from the military occupation that has driven this democracy down our throats since the end of the Civil War. I need to take a second to make sure you understand that. This has been going on since the end of the Civil War. What we're reading to you from the book on Friday from the Pandora's Box explains to you what happened during Reconstruction and how the Federalists took over all the mechanisms of the South, brought it under the same umbrella, has since been utilizing that to wield it against you and say that the federal government is the last say in the way that your life is governed. It is not. Your state constitution protects you from the federal government, guys. And they've got the whole thing turned upside down since the Civil War. It's all completely backwards, including the idea that, you know, you think that you live in a country where you threw a bunch of tea in the ocean and you're free. No. That's not what happened, okay? So you've got to understand your history to understand where we are, to understand the significance of what Donald Trump is doing, instead of everybody trying to, like, drag him down, okay? I want to explain this to you. This Epstein nonsense, what that is doing is it's like throwing an anchor on the president and trying to stop him. Every single thing that they're doing. Imagine it, everything, the news on the right and the left that's attacking Donald Trump right now. Any narrative, I don't care, pick one, throw a dart at the board. Doesn't matter which one. Every one of them is like an anchor in Donald Trump's back. And you know what? He's going to drag your ass with him anyway. You can't stop him, you bunch of idiots. So it doesn't really matter that you're like, you know, this hanger-on parasite that's like catching all of the stuff that falls off of him as he pulls you through reality to understand that this is the way the world is going to be organized for the future. You can be whatever you want, but your children's children are going to live in a country of freedom, not in a country of control because of one man. Do you recognize the significance of that? Your system of government created by the founding fathers gave the ability for one freaking man out of 340 million to stand up and reorganize the whole freaking game 110% to put you in the right direction and then force you to follow him because it's so amazing to pay attention to.
That's right.
What do
Don't
we
stop
want?
talking about Epstein. It's still something. Yeah, it's a money laundering scam.
We just showed you.
Yeah, it is something. I'm not saying it's not something, guys. But I'm saying that the same mainstream media, you go on TikTok, they're saying Trump is a pedophile. He went to Epstein Island.
Every platform.
Just like the people that we think are on our side are like, shady. There's
no arrests. When are we gonna hold them accountable, right? Because I'm General Flintard.
Because and they do that and pretending like they don't understand how. He's like, oh, it's been 6 months. Like if you get a DUI, if you get a DUI tomorrow, you're going to still be in court 2 years from tomorrow dealing with it. Do you understand that? Our system, so if you do something like really serious, like, some sort of like pedophilia or whatever you people are claiming is going on, you're going to be in process for a long time. We were just talking during the break about all this stuff that's coming out about mortgage fraud. I don't care how you get them. What I care about is that there is a victim and that the victim gets remedy by the person who is guilty being prosecuted. I'm not even saying that I want them to be prosecuted and be guilty. I'm just saying I want them prosecuted through our system and a jury of their peers decide. Everybody leaves this part out.
Yep. There are victims and criminals still not brought to justice. Okay, let's get them. All right, so let's do this, Shady Groove. This is Rumble Premium. It's something very important to this show and Rumble. When Rumble first started in 2013, they built this platform for the small creator. They didn't censor or have biases. They were fair and treated all creators equally. No one thought platforms would censor political conversations or opinions, right, Facebook? But you did, Facebook. And you fell to the pressure of the Biden and Harris administration. Rumble, they didn't, okay? YouTube also fell. Rumble held the line, guys, and they're attacked daily for giving us, the MG show right here, a voice to talk to you. They're attacked in corporate media. They're attacked by governments like France, Shady Groove. They're attacked from brand advertisers who refuse to work with them. Corporate America is fighting to remove your speech, guys. And Rumble is fighting to keep it. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers. It doesn't get much of it, but watching our show, the MG show right here, on Rumble is the most that they can ask from you. But if you really believe in this fight, one major way you can help Rumble is by joining Rumble Premium. Join the community that believes in the First Amendment and our First Amendment right to free speech, our human right to free speech, Shady. Rumble is offering $10 off with promo code STUDIO when you purchase an annual subscription. Go to rumble.com/premium, use code STUDIO, guys. And if you can't do it, you can't do it. But hey, we'd love you to do it because Friday, we have the pay sewer stuff happening, guys. That is very enlightening, folks, about how your country was really, where did the money come from? We're answering that every Friday, Rumble Premium. Not last Friday, but the Friday before, we had a free peek, a whole hour of reading the book. And Yeti's going to flash up the graphic on the screen, aren't you, Yeti? Come on, there he is.
Oh, he's there.
There he is. Look at that. Ooh. That's my Yeti right there, guys.
And he's going to do a So Shiny.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Now you're pushing it.
No, I know.
So shiny.
It is so shiny. Guys, I see a lot of naked people here on the MG show. There's G Fontes, you're naked. Get your red castle, hit the $ and do a $5 monthly that gives you your red castle. Or you can gift the red castle. There's a box right here. Let me just go here. There's a box right here. You can gift it. You can gift red castles here. You can also buy your red castle here. And you can donate here as well, guys.
Did I get a rant for my awesome rant?
No, you didn't get nothing.
Oh, wow. I thought I did good.
I didn't get nothing either.
Wow. You did great on that whole Ponzi scheme the first hour, by the way. I thought that was amazing.
Right.
And then I had an awesome rant right there talking about America and DJT, and
wow,
he's the man in the arena.
We should just give up.
I mean, I think that maybe we're losing our edge.
Yeah,
it's possible we're losing our edge. I mean, it's been 7 years, I
mean, we might be losing our edge, Shady.
Wow.
They still want us off the air, Shady Groove. Isn't that crazy?
The hate watcher. Well, as long as the hate watchers are still here, we should probably keep going.
Oh, we had trolls galore in here talking about the Ponzi scheme. So, guys, I mean, again, just going to reiterate here, Ponzi scheme, okay? Levinsky is Chelsea Clinton's husband, okay? The Ponzi scheme was
in the family.
Advanced fee scams, guys. Advanced fee scams. Could it be that the Epstein lawyers and all these people were doing advanced fee scams?
I think that it absolutely could be.
Wow.
And that makes a lot more sense than a bunch of this other crazy, unprovable stuff that's flying around.
And they weren't really victims. They were faking it to get money so they could get a $5 million payout, and then the bad people could get $20 million.
Well, you only need a certain amount to like set it up. I mean, effectively, isn't this kind of like the scheme that what's his name was trying with Nike? What was Avenatti?
Porn
Avenatti.
lawyer.
Yes, a creepy porn lawyer. He was
Yeah.
trying to shake down Nike in a similar fashion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Real quick, we want to wish happy birthday to the United States Coast Guard, Shady.
Ooh, happy birthday.
235 years of service. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Wow. And you too, Cram.
Yes. Cram's birthday is the same day as the Coast Guard.
Yep. And promises made, promises kept. We have negative net migration, guys, for the first time in 50 years, folks.
They said that couldn't happen.
Wow. All right. So let's go back to this, Shady Group.
Call me an isolationist. Because I didn't want like undocumented people coming over here with God knows what kind of disease and criminal behavior.
Well,
I'm an isolationist.
All right, we're going to go back to our Trump on Maxwell. We're
We
going
got
to
distracted from that, didn't we?
I want to release everything, he says. You ready?
Let's go.
Here we go.
Okay.
Files, they control the files.
Yes.
I didn't control the files. They control the files for 4 years. So if they had something, they would have released it before the election, because they are not geniuses, but they're evil.
Right.
There are a lot of evil people. So I can't really tell you much other than Todd went in, and I think he just wants to make sure that innocent people aren't hurt. But you'd have to speak to him about it.
Okay. I want to ask you about the situation with Russia, Mr. President.
Sure.
You have tried for the last 6 months to end this debacle in Ukraine that's now in calendar year number 4. Today, just moments ago on Truth Social, you announced that you ordered 2 nuclear submarines to undisclosed locations because of something provocative that was said by one of the Russians. Can you tell us how concerned you are about a possible escalation right now?
Well, a former president of Russia, who's now in charge of one of the most important councils, Medvedev, said some things that were very bad, talking about nuclear. And when you mention the word nuclear, I say, my eyes light up, and I say, we better be careful, because it's the ultimate threat. He shouldn't have said it. He's got a fresh mouth. He said things in the past, too. And so we always want to be ready. And so I have sent to the region 2 nuclear submarines. I just want to make sure that his words are only words and nothing more than that.
And they're closer to Russia, I assume?
They're closer to Russia. Yeah, they're closer to Russia. It's a terrible situation going on over there. This since the beginning of the year, they've lost 20,000 Russians in this ridiculous war. They've lost 8,000 Ukrainians soldiers. Then they've also lost people in cities and towns a lot, but not nearly numbers like that, because missiles are being shot into Kiev and other places. This is Biden's war. This is not my war. This war would have never happened. It didn't happen for 4 years, was never even talked about other than anything. I had conversations with Putin. It was the apple of his eye, but he wasn't going to go into Ukraine. And I will say this, that's a war that should end. That's a terrible war.
The bloodiest and deadliest in Europe since the Second World War. Reagan said peace through strength. I now call it peace through Trump. I think that deterrent is
well, we've settled a lot of wars. You take a look at what's happened just over the last little while. We've settled a lot of very beautiful wars have been settled.
That don't get a lot of attention from the media.
No, they don't talk about it.
Can I just ask you, your 10-day
one
deadline.
of the wars, think of it.
Sorry.
India, Pakistan, nuclear. You look at Cambodia just recently. It looked like that was going to be another big war. It was going to be a war. I settled that up, and I settled it up with trade. I settled a lot of them with trade. I said, listen, you guys are going to fight. You can fight all you want. I mean, just fight your hearts out, but we're not doing a trade deal. And all of a sudden, they end up not doing a war. I settled in the Congo. We settled a big one with Rwanda. It's going on for 31 years, 8 million people dead, killed. It looked like it was going to go on for another 31 years, and we settled that one. Kosovo, you know about that, with Serbia. That was going to break out. I mean, I settled a lot of wars. I think I settled averaging about a war a month. But, you know, we're saving millions of lives. Look what we did with the nuclear threat of Iran. That was totally obliterated, as now it's been confirmed. You know, they like to say, well, maybe it wasn't really that well. It was obliterated. It turned out, they just reported today, it was totally obliterated. Those pilots did some job, but we wiped out that nuclear threat. We've done a lot for peace.
Just quickly, you gave Russia, I think it was like a 50-day deadline, and then you lowered that to between 10 and 12 days. That would expire next Friday.
Yeah.
What happens if there's no deal?
We'll put sanctions on, and he's pretty good with sanctions. He knows how to avoid sanctions.
Does Putin know how serious you appear to be now?
I just want people to stop dying.
Yeah.
You know, this was Biden's war. This was not my war, Rob. This was Biden's war. It would have never happened. And it didn't happen. For 4 years, it didn't happen. There was no discussion of it. It wasn't going to happen. I told Putin, can't do it. It wasn't going to happen. And I got along with him very well. And the sad thing is, when I come in, I want to put this fire out. And this is the one flame, but I want to put the fire out. And I talked to Putin a lot. And I think we had a great conversation. Then I go home and I see that a bomb was dropped in Kiev and some of the various cities are killing people. And I say, you know, I just had this great conversation with him, and it looked like we were going to, I thought we had it worked out 3 different times. And maybe he wants to try and take the whole thing. I think it's going to be very hard for him.
Has your opinion of Putin changed just in dealing with him?
I'm surprised.
You knew him, but
I don't want to say that. Look, he's obviously a tough cookie, but so it hasn't changed in that way. But I'm surprised. We had numerous good conversations where we could have ended this thing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, bombs start flying. So,
Mr. President, there was a report this week that Pete Hegseth is thinking about possibly running for governor of Tennessee. Do you think he'd make a good governor?
Yeah, I think he's a great guy. I'd be disappointed, though. I think he's doing a good job where he is.
You're not on the ballot this cycle, 2026. Historically, Republicans have struggled when Donald Trump's name's not on the ballot. How are you going to make sure Republican voters turn out in 2026, just 15 months away?
It's a great compliment, right? When I'm not on the ballot, we don't do well.
It's the truth. It's the
truth. But I'm going to be out campaigning and working very hard. We have great candidates. And, you know, they're saying we had the greatest 6 months in the history of the presidency. We have done so much. The big, beautiful bill, the whole thing. I mean, everything. And that's the biggest tax cuts ever. The biggest regulation cuts ever. It lets people, wait till you see the boom that this country goes through in 5 or 6 months from now with all of the things that are happening. Car plants are getting ready to start built. Mm-hmm. They're going to be built by record numbers. The AI stuff is crazy, what's going on there. Billions and billions, trillions of dollars is being, and it's all going to start very shortly now. It's amazing. We've taken in almost $17 trillion of investments in this country. And wait till you see what happens. We're going to have a successful country like I think we've never had before.
Your administration has been very open about the fact that American women are not having enough babies. We know that you have addressed this. There was an ad this week. Sydney Sweeney, an actress, was in an ad for blue jeans.
Yeah.
The ad is doing very well. It's very popular. The jeans are sold out. Does America need to see more ads like that and maybe fewer ads with people like Dylan Mulvaney on the cover?
Well, I think the Dylan Mulvaney ad was perhaps the most unsuccessful ad in history. It knocked $35 billion off the value of a certain company. You know what I'm talking about. That was one of the great disasters of all time. I would say it's probably the most unsuccessful ad, worst ad ever. You know, advertising's a very funny thing. I've done ads where I thought they were lousy and they turned out to be iconic. And then I've done some that I thought were beauties, they're going to be fantastic, and they weren't so good. So to each his own. But the Dylan Mulvaney ad was a total disaster.
You've been very open about wanting an expedited deposition from Rupert Murdoch. This is somebody that you were close with, and this is the Wall Street Journal Epstein case. Do you think, maybe the better question is, why do you think the Journal is attacking you like that?
Well, it's funny because the New York Post has been terrific. He's have a really good man. Keith Poole runs it, and they've been great. The Wall Street Journal has been terrible. They've been so bad. It's like a gossip page. It's like it's not the Wall Street Journal. It's gossip. And when they write things wrong, I feel I have to protect myself. I have to protect my voters. I have to protect MAGA. And if I don't do it, I wouldn't be here with you. I wouldn't be, frankly, I wouldn't be president. I wouldn't, who knows what would have happened if I didn't fight back. I mean, it turned out to be a whole phony thing, the Russia hoax, and many other hoaxes too. That was just an offshoot, but many other hoaxes. And so I feel I have to protect myself. Wall Street Journal, I find to be very, very dishonest as it pertains to me.
Final question, sir. And I've never seen you do something like this, but I want to name, if I could, a few members of your team, and then if you will just assign a word or two to each of them. You can say whatever you'd like. First name, Linda McMahon.
Great. Okay. And I'll tell you, a little bit surprising, because, you know, Linda's sort of a quiet person and everything else.
Right.
She turns out to be great. She is what she's doing. And you know what she's really doing? It's not just the Harvard stuff. The more important is that she's bringing education back to the states. The states are going to take education. She's done a great job.
Energy Secretary Chris Wright.
So Chris is one of the most successful people in the entire world of energy, and I was told, you'll never get him, you'll never get him. And Doug Burgum is the one that recommended. I was going to use Doug. I would say for Chris, just great expertise, great talent.
Marco.
Real quick, 17 pages for truth, $100 Rumble Rant. I'm feeling giving today. Gratitude to the MG Show and all the great MAGA Q Patriots here. Thank you so much. G Fontes donated a subscription to the MG Show. Also, Wigwam, 5 subscriptions. Thank you, guys. We need your help. Thank you.
Rubio.
Born for this job. He was born for the job. You know, we had a really nasty campaign. And the 2016 campaign, this was on the nasty side, and yet I respected him. I thought he was a great debater. I thought he was very smart. He had a lot of things. But you know, you're fighting somebody. He's just a great guy. And he did something else that's amazing. He got essentially 100 votes. Got 99, but you know the vice president votes to it if you do the vice president. But he got unanimous on both sides.
Right.
So he was able to get along with the radical left, and you could say the radical right. He was able to get along with everybody. He's a very talented guy, Marco, and we're really happy. But I think he was born for that job.
Scott Besson.
Has a soothing way that's unbelievable. He'll talk like a market, like today, where I really believe the numbers are false, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But Scott probably wouldn't say that. He'd just get up and he'd say something. And he's got a great way about him and very highly respected.
Kristi Noem.
She is, I mean, look at the border. Now, she worked with Tom Homan, so that's a big advantage. But she's done a fantastic job. She's been great.
RFK Jr.
One of the most popular people. I don't know. If I did a poll, he might be one of the most popular. He wants to make it's very simple with him. He wants to make America healthy again. You know, when you look at some of the things that are childhood diseases and all sorts of things that didn't exist 25 years ago, or certainly not in the numbers. No, he's working very hard to make our country healthy again. And I did something and gave it to him and Oz and his group. Marty McCary was fantastic. And, you know, I want to get the drug prices down by 1,000%, 1,200%. You know what I mean by that? I want to get them down so, like, we pay the same as other countries, because we pay sometimes 10 times more than Germany and France and other countries, and it's not fair. And we've gone to war with the drug companies and, frankly, other countries on it. And I think we're going to be very successful fairly soon. We'll have drug prices coming down by 500, 600, 800, even 1,200%.
If you don't want to answer this, I didn't realize she'd be in the room, but she's on my list. Caroline Leavitt.
She's become a star. It's that face, it's that brain, it's those lips, the way they move like she's a machine gun. Is she in the room?
She's in the room.
She's a star, and she's great. She's a great.
Now, the fake news said that was inappropriate comments. He didn't mean that inappropriate. She is fire. She speaks, and her, she is beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but she is fire the way she speaks, Shady.
I knew they were going to do that.
Yeah. They didn't like this. They said that was inappropriate. He woos Caroline Leavitt. Hey,
like we care what they think at this point.
Like, real men, like when we're playing Caroline Leavitt here on the show, you guys in the chat are like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. Oh, geez, oh my God. So now that's bad to say that somebody's beautiful?
You mean like sexy and beautiful sells products?
Yes.
I've never heard of that before. Like, that's crazy talk.
Back to the president.
Person, actually, but she's, I don't think anybody has ever had a better press secretary than Caroline. She's been amazing.
Mr. President, thank you so much for all of your time this afternoon. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. It's great. Your show is great.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank
I appreciate
you very much.
that. Thank you.
Mediocre. All right. There you go. So, pretty interesting, right? Like that comment right there got him in trouble. Stop it, you fake news pieces of crap.
They have nothing, man. Their Russian narrative is dead, and they have not been able to conjure it up through the Epstein thing. Like, literally, Schumer yesterday, this whole thing going on today, yesterday, he's like saying, release the files, Donald. Like, They think that this is an own. This is exactly how, this is like the Democrats can't meme in politics. Yeah. Isn't it? I mean, it's like they can't, they have absolutely no idea how to argue the proper point. They always end up in the wrong place.
So I'm a business, okay? I want to have a supermodel. I'm not sure if she's a supermodel or not, but the Jean commercial, right, for American Eagle. Or I want to have Dylan Mulvaney. The history of Dylan Mulvaney's lost $38 billion to Budweiser, guys, okay? Or this... I'm not going with Dylan Mulvaney, and I don't care if Trump says that she has great lips. I don't care, guys. Get real, folks. I mean, this wokeness crap, Shady Groove, is getting out of control.
Actually, it's kind of dying. I mean, and this is the symbolism that you're seeing right now in society is that of it dying, because you know what? American Eagle pants, the jeans are sold out across the country.
Yeah,
so it's like American Eagle pants aren't that great.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love them. God bless them, American Eagle Outfitters, whatever, but they're not extremely popular brand of pants, like if you compare it to like Levi or Wrangler, but
I have some.
A good ad.
I have some. I have American Eagle jeans.
I've never even put a pair of those on.
When I was a kid, I had Wrangler with the tough patches on there.
I did not like Wranglers. I have Levi's, button fly.
Levis.
Levis.
All right. So then, okay, fast forward now. That was Friday. Okay. Lots of stuff happened because we only have a 2-hour show here. My God.
It's only 2 hours. And we get to skip 2 days a week.
Oh, my God.
Seems like forever, doesn't it? It's like the rabbit hole of like trying to figure out Monday. Okay. Like what didn't happen over the weekend?
And then here is the gaggle for President Trump. Shady Grove, ready? Check it out. This is pretty good. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
The gaggle.
Outside of Chick-fil-A, and Cal has the eat more chicken sign up.
This is the wrong one, Shady.
Yes, this might be the chicken having issues with the cow outside Chick-fil-A.
There's the gaggle, the press gaggle.
Confrontation.
Oh, man.
Okay. All right. Wrong video. But it's almost like that at a Donald J. Trump gaggle, isn't it, Shady?
I think we will get about the same out of it.
Right? I know. All right. So here's the full Sunday gaggle.
If we're going to see if they can ask a relevant question. You'll hear a ding from Matrix or Shady if the press asks a relevant question.
Oh, my God. TN Pez says, so show us your jeans, Jeff. During the show, I don't wear anything.
Oh, no. Yeah. You can... Guys,
Shady, tell him.
Encourage him. I'm trying to tell them to stop encouraging you, dude. He's not shy.
Everybody move to the left. All right, here we go. I'm moving that to the right. Here we go. Full Sunday gaggle. That's your president, Shady Grove, right there.
Okay, thank you very much. We had a very good weekend in many respects. We're seeing phenomenal numbers in terms of the business we do with other countries and the business we do within our own country. I mean, really phenomenal
numbers. We'll be announcing a new statistician sometime over the next 3-4 days. We had no confidence. I mean, the numbers were ridiculous, what she announced, but that was just one negative number. All of the numbers seem to be great. And so we'll see how that comes out. And if you remember, just before the election, this woman came out with these phenomenal numbers on Biden's economy. Phenomenal.
Did you see the nuclear football, guys? That's the nuclear football. You see that?
Yeah, it's like it's moving around in the background.
Yeah. There it is. It's on the move.
On Biden's economy. Phenomenal numbers. And then right after the election, they announced that those numbers were wrong. And that's what they did the other day. So it's a scam, in my opinion. My opinion is it's just additional scam.
On Russia, Mr. President, can you say, have those nuclear submarines been deployed yet to face Russia?
I've already put out a statement, and the answer is they are in the region, yeah, where they have to be.
Can you say what Steve Witkoff's message will be to the Russians? Is there anything they can do to avoid sanctions at this point?
Yeah, get a deal where people stop getting killed. They had a number that just came out that a tremendous number of Russian soldiers are being killed. And likewise, Ukraine, a lower number, but still thousands and thousands of people. And now we're adding towns where they're being hit by missiles. So it's a lot of people being killed in that ridiculous war. And, you know, we stopped a lot of countries from war, India and Pakistan. We stopped a lot of countries. And we're going to get that one stopped, too. Somehow we're going to get that one stopped. That's a really horrible war. You heard about Cambodia and Thailand. We got that one done. We got the Congo, which was going on for 31 years. Rwanda, that one's done. We stopped a lot of wars. This is the one we seem to be, this should be the easiest to stop, and it's not. I mean, Rwanda and Congo were going on 31 years when I got it stopped. 8 million people dead, at least. That's what they have, but I think the number is much higher. And the leaders of each country, Rwanda and the Congo, they were great. They were great, and they wanted it stopped. 31 years it went on. We stopped a lot of wars. Serbia, Kosovo was going to be happening, and I don't believe it will now, so we stopped that one too. Yes?
You said you had more of an update to give us on Gaza, on the Gaza Strip. Can you give us any?
Only we want the people fed. And we're the only country that's really doing that. We're putting up money to get the people fed. And Steve Witkoff is doing a great job. And we want Israel to get them fed. We're giving some pretty big contributions, basically to purchase food so the people can be fed. We don't want people going hungry, and we don't want people to starve. And there's some bad things happening.
Do they see evidence of a genocide in Gaza?
I don't think it's sad. Look, they're in a war. Some horrible things happened on October 7th, as you know. It was a horrible, horrible thing. One of the worst I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of bad things since I'm president in terms of wars and potential wars. I mean, if you look at the one that we just stopped, there are thousands of people being dead already at the border between Thailand and Cambodia. Thousands of people. And I mean, I've seen some bad things, but that October 7th was with Hamas was really, really bad.
Mr. President, can you give us an update on Steve Witkoff in Russia and what happens on Friday if the deadline comes and Russia has not agreed to the ceasefire?
Well, there'll be sanctions, but they seem to be pretty good at avoiding sanctions. You know, they're wily characters, and they're pretty good at avoiding sanctions. So we'll see what happens. But Steve is focused right now on the border in terms of, we're talking about with Gaza, getting people fed. And he may be going, I think next week, Wednesday or Thursday, may be going to Russia. They would like to see him. They've asked that he meet, so we'll see what happens.
Mr. President, what advice do you have for Republicans on Capitol Hill heading into midterms? What do they need to do? What can they do to, you know, hold?
Well, one of the things they're going to be talking about pretty soon are the tremendous drop in drug prices. You know, we've cut drug prices by 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500%. I don't mean 50%. I mean 14, 15, 100%. Because we're going favored nations. We want the same price as Europe gets. We want the same price as other country gets. And over the years, 25, 30 years ago, it started where they were charging us much more. And I put an end to it, with a letter that you saw last week. So I think that's going to be a point. I don't know how anybody could win an election if they're on the other side of that issue. So we'll be dropping drug prices. It'll start over the next 2 to 3 months by 1,200, 1,300, and even 1,400% and 500%, but not just 50% or 25%, which normally would be a lot, because the rest of the world pays much less for the identical drug. And we're going to be paying the same thing. We're going to have a favored nations. We will pay as low as the lowest nation in the world.
And then, Mr. President, I think it just came out $29 billion in July taken in tariff revenue. Could we see a potential rebate here, and what would that look like, and who would qualify?
Well, we're going to pay down debt. We have a lot of money coming in, much more money than the country's ever seen, by hundreds of billions of dollars. And there could be a distribution or dividend to the people of our country. I would say for people that would be middle-income people and lower-income people, we could do a dividend. But one of the things we're going to be doing is reducing debt. But we have hundreds of billions of dollars pouring into our country now. We should have done this many years ago. And I did it in my first term with China. We didn't get to the rest because COVID hit. And you couldn't really go to France and Spain and Italy and say, let's start talking about some tariffs. But China was paying us hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs, and we did it then. And then Biden screwed it all up. He screwed everything he touched, he screwed up. So, thank you.
Will you endorse Winston Sears in the Virginia governor's race?
Yeah, I would. I I think probably she's got a tough race. She shouldn't have. But because the candidate she's running against is not very good. But I think she's got a tough race. But I would, yeah.
When will you swear in Jeanine Pirro to be the
I will happily swear in Jeanine Pirro, who's going to be fantastic at what she does in D.C. Over the next very short period of time. I think she's going to be fantastic. Don't forget, Jeanine Pirro was a great judge and a great prosecutor. And because she was so good, I was there. She was an amazing prosecutor and judge. And because she was so good, they drafted her into show business. And she did fantastic. The Five was the #1 show, et cetera, et cetera. Jeanine Pirro was also really good at that. But her real love is exactly what she's doing. And that's what made her such a success in show business. So Jeanine Pirro is going to be amazing. And I'll swear her in as soon as we can swear her in. We need her. She's going to be amazing.
Mr. President, are you happy with how the Rose Garden turned out? And will you have some kind of event for the Rose Garden? Are you happy with how it turned out?
Yeah, we're getting great reviews of the Rose Garden, and we had to do it. As an example, when we had a press conference, you'd sink into it would take 3, 4, 5 days for it to dry out, and we couldn't use it for really the intended purpose. So whether they had events for white stone, and it's a stone that's the same color as the White House itself, and because it's very white, it's going to reflect the heat. It's not going to be very hot, like if you had a dark stone. So yeah,
that's
we've got
racist.
Great reviews on the Rose Garden.
Oh my God, racist stone.
What's really interesting, Shady,
No, you sound completely weird.
what's going on?
I don't know. Something messed up.
Something messed up. All right.
Getting better.
Federal Reserve Board, have you been interviewing candidates?
No, I have a couple of people in mind. I'll be announcing somebody for the filling of the person that left. A woman left, as you know, who was a Biden appointment, either Biden or Obama, but I think a Biden appointment. And she left early, and I think she left because she agreed with me on interest rates, and yet they were on the other side of the ballpark, right? So I'll be announcing that probably over the next couple of days.
Mr. President, one more on tariffs here. As you continue to, pile up these trade deals, are you kind of gaining more leverage over countries that haven't come out?
Yeah, I'm not looking for leverage. I'm looking for fairness. We want reciprocal as much as possible. Sometimes reciprocal would be too much for them to handle because it would be a much bigger number. But we want to see some reciprocity. We want to see reciprocal wherever we can. And all I can say is this: our country will be taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. You just said it. Already we're taking in, billions and billions of dollars. And it was very unfair. The world treated us very unfair. But the next big move is going to be the price of drugs. Because you could buy something in London or in Germany, someplace in Germany or many countries where it's 1/10, 1/3, 1/4, but sometimes 1/10 the price of what it costs to buy it in New York or some other place. And we're not doing that anymore. We're not allowing that anymore. That started many years ago when people were asleep at the wheel in this country, and they allowed that to happen, and I'm stopping it.
I'm a UN ambassador. Will that still be a cabinet level position, sir, or not?
I don't know. I haven't determined that yet. That's a good question. I'll make a decision. He's a very good guy, but I'll make a decision.
Mr. President, what is your relationship with Laura Loomer? What kind of influence with Laura Loomer? What kind of influence does she have in the White House? I think she's very nice. I mean, I know she's known as a radical right, but I think Laura Loomer is a very nice person. I've known her for a long time. And, personally, I think she's a patriot. And she gets excited because of the fact that she's a patriot. And she doesn't like things going on that she thinks are bad for the country. I like her. Okay? President, actress Sydney Sweeney came out this weekend that she was a registered Republican. Any thoughts on that?
That who was?
Sydney Sweeney. She's like a very hot actress right now.
She's a registered Republican? Yes. Oh, now I love her ad. Is that right? Is Sydney Sweeney? You'd be surprised at how many people are Republicans.
Saw her at the gun range.
That's what I wouldn't have known, but I'm glad you told me that. If Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican,
oh, she's a Republican.
I think her ad is fantastic. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, President Donald J. Trump. A point I was going to make about the actual Rose Garden is that it's covered up now, Shady, basically. Mm-hmm. And he's got sigils at each corner.
Yep.
Did you see that? Flags? Mm-hmm. Oh, my God, man.
Yep, but basically there's symbolism here that the people that if you've paid attention to the MG show, you've probably recognized. We've spoken to you about it a number of times. The Rose Garden was created at the White House the same year as the initiation of the Federal Reserve. It's a symbol. It's a symbol of the control. Do you guys remember what the rose means?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so let's do that. Who knows what the rose means, guys? Let's drop it in the chat. See who can answer it. Who's been paying attention, Shady?
Sure if anybody. I said somebody knows. So now don't prove Shady wrong. That would be
prove him right. All right, Shady. Terrible. Let's do this real quick. We got another one here. We got a bunch of people. We've got anglers, right? If you're ready to fish remote lakes and quiet rivers in total stealth mode, check out Nevada Fishing Float Tube from Cadis Sports. This U-shaped beast is built for serious fishing missions. And Yeti, I'm on one screen here. I'm hiding behind it. Maneuverable, as tough as nails, heavy duty, ride stop material, and double stitch seams. You get a padded backrest, oversized seat, 2 large gear pockets, a rod holder, stripping apron, and even a dry fly patch. Everything you need to stay locked in and ready to bite is on. Fluorescent accents keep you visible on the water, and carry handles make it easier to haul in and out. Whether you're chasing bass or in the shallows or hiking into the alpine trout lakes, the Nevada Float Tube is built for the job. Use code RUMBLE at checkout today for 10% off your order. Go to cadissports.com, CADDIS sports.com. Get out there, stay light, and catch the big one. That's pretty cool.
Thank you so much. Yes, and it was Qshaw Mac was the first one to get it right, communism, but a number of people did get it right, so I'm so very impressed with you guys. Because this is exactly what we're talking about. Everything that we're talking about on the Fridays, everything we're talking about with the Federal Reserve, everything that we're talking about with the financial system is about freeing you. The Founding Fathers did not want you bickering over emotional issues and social issues. The Founding Fathers wanted you to bicker over the amount the government can do and the finances and the way that the government is managing it. That's all they really wanted the government to do, and that's all they wanted your political conversations to be about. But they've spread it out into all these things that no one can possibly ever agree on. We can agree very, very easily that we want our country to do good. We want the dollar to be strong, and we want for every man to prosper and be given an opportunity to do so.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand that the rose means that they are successful in taking you over. Okay. Look at this is socialism, the fist in the rose. Look at the rose, guys, the Red Rose Society. Bette Midler's song, The Rose, is actually a story that you need to understand. And we've covered it right here. Parkland. When was Parkland done, Shady Grove? What was the date?
Valentine's.
It was done on Valentine's Day. Wow. What do you give people on Valentine's Day, Shady?
Roses.
The rose. And they wanted to take away your what, Shady?
Freedom.
And your?
Guns. Protection. You're effectively, your ability to protect yourself is your freedom.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting, huh?
It is. It's interesting because what we're doing now is we're putting a ballroom on top of it. Remember how we told you the story about how they broke the spell, how the gentleman broke the spell at the Federal Reserve down there in Jekyll Island? Well, putting a ballroom on top of this, your whole symbolic rose garden is doing something very similar. Breaking the altar.
Yeah. Nothing's wrong with roses, guys. We're just telling you what it means to them. The Rosicrucians. You understand?
Now we're boycotting roses.
Yeah, we cover it with Bill Cooper. Exactly right, Lydia. Thank you. Yeah, so guys, we love you guys very much. I was going to do Stephen Miller today too, Shady, but we're running out of time.
Are we out of time? What time is it? What time is it? Oh, well, 6 minutes.
Alexa, what time is it?
It's 11:54. 10:54.
1:54.
1:54.
1:54, Shady.
I mean, we could play part of it. No?
No.
Okay.
No,
well,
I mean,
move on.
I know. I mean, we're going to wrap it up, but we will play it possibly tomorrow because it is big, right? Look, I got the CNN spy op. I got the post spy op post on CNN. Okay, guys, that should be a big win. Now I'm calling for Donny O'Sullivan, CNN, and Anderson Cooper. Okay, what is a Cooper, right? You're a Vanderbilt. We know it. And you even admit it, so it's not a big deal. I want to go back on and show you how we're right. Come on, let's go.
Cash Patel wasn't Q.
Nope. Cash Patel loved our show, though, Shady Groove, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And, well, he's doing a great service right now by handing over the information that nails these people to the wall. Because that's all, that's all effectively people wanted to see. The stuff that's coming out right now between Tulsi and the FBI, this is just the very, very beginning of it. And the reality of the situation is, I know you want to light your hair on fire and scream arrests and run around in the streets so that people pay attention to you. But that's not really the way this is going to go down. The way this is going to go down is public consumption of the corrupt nature of these people so that everybody in public knows what it is that they were really doing so that we create a future where they are not allowed or able to get control and to do it again. That is far more important than one person going to prison for anything.
TN Pesto Jeff, we have time for you to show us your jeans.
I told him that you had. I said In the Matrix has great jeans.
You guys got to be careful what you wish for. I'll tell you that. All right. So, Oh, and DQ says you're in the right time zone. You guys are in the wrong time zone. Okay. You West Coasters over there.
No. The West Coast is the time zone.
No, it is not the time zone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. It is.
No, the East Coast is the.
It's like right now, it's like 11. It's not even 11 a.m. The day is still young.
Wow.
You guys are like 2 o'clock. You're like looking at like, you're 3 hours away from the rush hour.
I know. So thank you for your morning drive in California and your afternoon drive in the East Coast. We love you guys. And then somewhere in the middle with your central timers over there. We love you very much. And this song is from Mikey Mariano, Shady Grove. You ready?
I am so ready. Thank you guys for another great show on Monday. We love you so much. We appreciate all your support and your premium and your subscribers and your donations. And God bless Trump and God bless each of you.
God bless you all.
Constant screaming, world's a perverted game. Matrix is calling, lighting up the flame. Shady's got the groove, slicing up the lights. MG's hits the mic, waking up the skies. Hear the signal, it's breaking the code. Truth's a rebel. are sharp. Together they're the spark to light the dark. Hear the signal, it's breaking the code. Choose a rebel, it's ready to explode. Crack the matrix, let the shadows fall. Screaming loud, we're tearing down the wall. No fame, no fear, we're alive, we swear. Crack the matrix, truth is in the Veils are lifting, see the game implode. MG's roaring down that open road. No more silence, no more scripted lines. Matrix and shady truth's their war cry. Crowds awakening, echoes start to soar. Every word they drop is shaken to the core. From the static to the fire in our soul, AMG's leading us to take back control. Hear the signal, it's breaking the code. Choose a rebel, it's ready to explode. Crack the matrix, let the shadows fall. Screaming loud, we're tearing down the wall. No fame, no fear, we're alive, we swear. Crack the matrix, grooving Shady in the matrix, rocking the groove. Shady in the matrix, rocking the
Mikey Mariano, Crack the Matrix, www.mg.show. Boom.